Okay, so today we're going to look at which LastPass account is best for small businesses and why. So LastPass has 5 different options. It has free, premium and families on the personal side, and then teams and business on the business side. And in my opinion, the only one that's suitable for small businesses is teams. So you could just take my word for it, go for teams and stop listening right now. But if you want to know why teams is the only option for small business, then stick around for a few minutes. So let's look at the personal side of LastPass first. You've got free, you've got premium, and you've got families. Now, free is not suitable for business. You can only share from 1 to 1, and therefore it's no good when you want to share with multiple employees or virtual assistants or members of staff or business partners or whatever. And also, you can only access it on one type of device. So that could be a laptop or a mobile or a PC or a tablet, for example. You can't access it on more than one device. So it's not suitable at all. So just forget the idea of getting something for free. Now, premium is an okay option, but only really when you're just beginning out. And actually, when you see the cost comparison between teams and premium, it makes no sense for a business to go for premium. So stick around and I will explain exactly why teams should be the one you go for. Families, again, it's not suitable for business. And there's some really important things to understand about families. If you're tempted by that 6 licenses for one small fee, well, there's a catch to that. And I'll explain exactly why in the next few minutes. So let's look at premium first of all. Now, on the plus side for premium, you can access it on multiple devices. So your laptop, your computer, your iPad or whatever. You also get account recovery and you can share from 1 to many. So you could share access to a site with multiple people. So it's all looking good so far. You also get a security dashboard and you also get password breach monitoring, which apparently is quite useful. It's not something I've ever had to deal with because no one's ever tried to breach my passwords. But that's where the positives end because premium is meant for personal use. So you don't get shared folders. And these are essential when you're setting up and running your business, when you want to easily onboard and deprovision staff when they come and go. So we'll talk about shared folders in a second. You also get no admin console and no control over the users that you're sharing your passwords with. So you can't set up any security policies or other really useful stuff that you get with Teams. So for that reason, I don't recommend using premium for business. Now, shared folders is one of the key features that premium lacks. And let me just explain it for a second. So imagine you have somebody joining your company and you want to share with them a bunch of sites. Now, this could be a role, for example, like a marketing role or a sales role or a customer service role. And so that role is going to have a bunch of sites. So it could be logins, it could be apps, it could be whatever, that every employee that works in that role would typically need access to. You're also going to have a bunch of stuff, for example, that everybody needs access to. So sort of an access all folder. And if you put everything into folders, it keeps everything nice and organized in your LastPass vault. But when you can then share those folders in their entirety, it means you can simply add somebody to a folder and they automatically get added to every single site in that folder. So it makes sharing much easier on a role by role basis. Then when somebody leaves, you just remove them from that shared folder and they lose access to everything. But you can also set up shared folders so you don't give them access to everything, but it sort of still groups things together. And that's great for your more mission critical stuff. So we for example, have a shared folder set up for things which contain customer sensitive information, so emails, etc. And then we are very careful with who we give access to that and make sure that when they leave, we remove access and change the password as well. So we have 2 types of share folders, one which we share with everybody and just basically add them to it and then remove them when they leave. And the second one is the one that we always change every single password when they leave the company. So shared folders make that really, really easy. The alternative to not use shared folders is just to use standard folders that you get with premium, but then you have to share every single site on a site-by-site basis. So when you onboard a new member of staff, it's a really laborious thing. Shared folders just simplify it and speed things up massively. The other personal type account is families. Now, the pros of families are you get 6 licenses for a really low cost. And you also get shared folders. But the shared folders are limited. They're not the same as the shared folders you get with Teams. In LastPass Families, you can only add people to shared folders that are in your family, and you can only ever add 6 people. So you can't therefore share access to, say, a subcontractor, someone's just working for a couple of weeks, and stick them into a shared folder and then remove them when they leave. They've got to be a paid user on your account. And as I said, you're limited to 6. So if you think you've got your virtual assistant, maybe your marketing assistant, maybe you get a PA working for you, maybe you've got a business partner, it very soon adds up to 6. So when you get to 6, you're stuck. But you may think, that's great, I'll just upgrade to Teams when I get to that point. And you can change from LastPass Families to LastPass Teams, but it's not easy. You have to downgrade the account to Premium, which means unsharing everything. So all that hard work you've done for setting up all your shared folders, remove all the users, then upgrade to Teams from Premium, add all users back in, and then reshare everything. So it's a bit of a hack, and in my opinion, it's just not worth the effort. You might as well set out how you mean to go on. So that's why I do recommend LastPass Teams as really the only option. The other business type of account is LastPass Business, but that's really for bigger organizations. You can really go granular on the control, and you can have groups of users, and I'm sure it actually does add some benefits that could be worthwhile, but we've never seen the need to upgrade it. None of our clients have, and that's why I don't recommend it. It's just an extra cost and an extra admin hassle that you don't want to have to get your head around. Teams gives you enough control, in my opinion, to keep things safe, keep things secure, give you the control you need, but without having the extra admin hassle of learning it or getting one of your team to learn how to do all the extra stuff that business includes. And obviously it's a bit cheaper as well. So the pros of using LastPass Teams are you get those all important business shared folders. That means you can add people to shared folders even if they're not in your organization. So you don't have to pay for a license for everyone you add to a shared folder. You can add a maximum of 5 guest users per shared folder, or you can just buy a license for anybody else. Now, the advantage of buying a license means you get security policies, you get admin consoles, you get user management, which means that you can then have total control over that account. If that person leaves the company, you can just delete the account. They can't access anything. And as I mentioned before, shared folders just really make it simple when you're sharing stuff. So it's one of the key things that you should go for. Now, the negatives of the Teams account are it's slightly more expensive than if you go to, say, Premium or for a Families account, because remember, you get 6 licenses with Families. With Teams, it's a similar amount, but you only get 1. But because you can add people as free users, then of course, that makes it a bit more cost effective. At the end of the day, you are going to pay a bit more for Teams, but in my opinion, you need to start learning how to use business grade apps. So even if you just buy 1 license, just have it for yourself, but then use the shared folders and add free users, you can start learning about policies. You can start learning about shared folders and how to set them up properly. And then when your business gets to the right stage, you can sort of add licenses and add users to really lock down security. If you're not sharing anything sensitive, add them as a free user. If you're sharing things with client sensitive information in that you want to really control how that stuff is accessed, then of course I would add someone as a paid user so you have that granularity and control over them. The admin side is obviously more complex because you've got to deal with policies and shared drives and things, but with that slightly added complexity does give you that control and security that you probably want. So in summary, if you're just getting started, you really toss up between Premium and Teams. The cost for 1 license on Teams is relatively similar to 1 license on Premium, so you might as well go for Teams because then you get shared drives. You can upgrade from Premium to Teams if you've already bought Premium or already have an account, or if you have a personal account, I recommend you setting up a new account in Teams and then linking your personal account, because then you can unlink it at any time in the future and it's sort of totally separate from your business, but you access it through the same login. So you get a single login, but access to all of your personal and business from one account. So it really makes things simple. You can share items to any type of LastPass account from any type of LastPass account. So you can share individual items from Premium, Family, or Teams to a free account, maybe that your virtual assistant has. But if you go for Families, you can only add other family members to the family shared folders. That's the one big drawback of using Families. And remember, Families is limited to 6 people. So once you get to 6, that's it. You're stuck. You've got to then downgrade everything, remove all the access, upgrade to Teams, and then reshare everything. So it's a real faff. So for these reasons, I recommend LastPass Teams for small business. You can start off with 1 or maybe 2 licenses. get your head around sharing, start using shared folders, start using the admin policies, and that will then give you a much better level of security. And then you can add users as you want, or as I said before, you can add people as guest users in the meantime, but you still get that advantage of having shared folders. So that's it. I hope that helps. Thanks very much.